is why we have written from here, from the boundary condition, we can derive that, or we can logically argue that this will be possible. This temperature will be equal to 0 if x is equal to 0 at small x equal to 0. And similarly, from the other boundary condition, that is u is equal to 0 at small x equal to 1, that is on the other boundary, u is equal to 0. Again, this we can write it as this is equal to u at 1 comma t is equal to x at 1 into gamma t for all time, because this for all time t greater than 0. And when we are applying this boundary condition at x equal to 1, so u at 1 comma t is equal to x at 1 comma into gamma t. Now this will be 0 again if and only if this will be 0 for all values of gamma t if and only if x at 1 is equal to 0. So that is why you have written the other boundary condition x equal x at 1 x equal to 1 is equal to 0. Now with these two we can get a solution for capital X, that will come to later on. And what about the other thing? The other thing again we can write it as gamma prime is equal to minus gamma square lambda square into gamma, and that if you bring it on the left hand side, it becomes gamma prime plus lambda square gamma is equal to 0. So this is a first order ordinary differential equation. For solution of this thing, again we require an initial condition. That initial condition can get from the initial condition of the original problem, that we come to later on. Now from this ordinary differential, second order ordinary differential equation given by d2x dx square plus lambda square x is equal to 0, the solution can be x is equal to a sine lambda x plus b sine cos lambda x. Now here this lambda value that is there, it is not only one kind of thing. There is this is possible for different values of lambda or lambda square. This solution is equal to 0 can lead to for different values of lambda we can have different solution for this thing. So that is why it's taken as some kind of a parameter that is making different solution for different problem. Now for different values of lambda, this is a possibility. So what we say is that for each and every particular value of lambda, you have a corresponding solution for x. X is not universal. X will be one value for one value of lambda. X will have another value for another value of lambda. So the solution for x, we do not write x as a function of x, rather we write x suffix lambda. That means for each and every value of lambda, we have a specific solution for x. Now this each and every specific value of this thing, that is called an eigenvalue. That is, for typical values of this lambda, the whole system will be satisfied. Those typical values, they are called eigenvalues. Now what are those typical values, that we will discuss later on. Now for the time being, the solution for those typical values of lambda is given by x lambda as a function of x equal to a coefficient, again that is lambda specific, a lambda into sine lambda x plus b lambda into cos lambda x. If you substitute this into this equation, you'll see that it is perfectly satisfying this equation. Now to find out these values of a lambda and b lambda, we use the two boundary conditions. These are the two unknowns. There is another thing is there. These are the two unknowns. In fact, there are three unknowns: a lambda, b lambda, and lambda itself. Now to find out those things, only thing you can do is to take help of the boundary condition. If we use the boundary condition, that what is the first boundary condition, that for all values of lambda, x at 0 will be equal to 0. So x lambda at 0 should be equal to 0. So when x lambda x becomes equal to 0, then this sine 0 becomes equal to 0. So it becomes x lambda at x equal to 0, which is equal to 0, that becomes equal to b lambda, and this becomes equal to 1, because when x becomes equal to 0, cos 0 becomes equal to 1. So what we see is that b lambda will has to be equal to 0, because otherwise this cannot be equal to 0, because x lambda at x equal to 0 is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to, this term is gone, because x equal to 0 means sine 0 means 0. So this term is absent, and this becomes cos 0 means 1. So it simply remains as b lambda that is equal to 0, because as per the boundary condition. So b lambda has to be equal to 0. So once b lambda is gone, then we are left with x lambda is equal to a lambda sine lambda x. Now we are left with two more coefficients. One is a lambda and another is lambda. And we are left with one more unused boundary condition. What is that boundary condition? That boundary condition is x at small x equal to 1 is equal to 0. So if you substitute that thing, so it becomes x at small x equal to 1 is equal to 0. So this is equal to 0 when x is equal to 1. When x equal to 1. Now this is gone already. B lambda is 0, so it is no more there. So it becomes x lambda at x equal to 1, which is equal to 0, and that is equal to a lambda into sine lambda. Now again, this a lambda into sine lambda is equal to 0. Now how it can be possible is either a lambda into sine lambda is equal to 0 is possible if either a lambda is equal to 0 or sine lambda equal to 0. Now if a lambda becomes equal to 0, then the whole equation vanishes. Well, already b lambda is not there, so this term is not there. And if a lambda becomes equal to 0, then there is nothing left. We cannot have any solution. So a lambda cannot be 0. Only way possible is that sine lambda has to be equal to 0. Sine lambda has to be equal to 0. Now sine lambda can be 0 at discrete values of lambda. What is that? That it can be 0 at lambda equal to n pi, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now one may argue that why not 0? N is equal, why not 0? For the same reason that if this lambda becomes equal to, when n becomes equal to 0, it becomes 0 pi means 0. So again this term will go out. So this has to remain for other values of x. Now if lambda becomes equal to 0 for all values of x, this term will be altogether absent. But that cannot be so. So your n cannot be equal to 0. N has to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these things. Now one may again say, why not minus 1, 2, 3? Because that minus 1, 2, 3 and this plus 1, 2, 3, ultimately even if it is minus 1, it becomes equal to minus of sine 1, and that minus will be taken care of by this coefficient. So only thing we take is the positive integers of n equal to 1, 2, 3. All these will satisfy this thing, that when lambda becomes equal to 1 pi or 2 pi or 3 pi or 4 pi, then the sign of that value becomes equal to 0. So that satisfies the other boundary condition. So that is why for the specific values of lambda only, this solution will exist. That is why it is called a IN solution, means they are characteristic values, typical values of lambda at which it is satisfied. So what we have found out by this time, by some logic, that b lambda is equal to 0 and lambda equal to n times pi, where n can assume positive integer values like 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. And so far we have not been able to find out the value of a lambda. Now if we take the solution for the other time dependent part, this equation gamma prime plus lambda square gamma equal to 0, then what is the solution for this thing? This is what you have solved for the LAM system. In the LAM system, what is remaining is only this part, that x variability is gone. A LAM system means where the x function of x part is not there. It is only the function of time part that is there. Whereas the difference between that LAM system and this distributed system is that here not only it will vary with time, but also it will vary with space. Okay, that variation with space is taken care of by the function of x, and variation of time is taken care of by the this function representing gamma, the time, function of time. Now the solution for this function of time is very similar to a lump system, where this gamma t will be equal to another coefficient c lambda into e to the power minus lambda square into time. Now lambda, these lambda values we have already found out, n pi, different values of n pi. So what is the solution for u? Now the solution for u can be for one value of lambda. It can be, suppose, one value of lambda that we call it as lambda 1. So the first solution for lambda 1 is x lambda 1, and here it is, so x lambda 1 into sine, that is for lambda 1, say, let us say that is for 1 pi. 1 pi x into a lambda 1 into c lambda 1 into e to the power minus n is equal to 1 minus pi square into t. Now we have a solution that consists of a product of a lambda 1 into c lambda 1. There can be another solution for lambda 2, which will be a lambda 2 into c lambda 2, and here it will be sine of n will become 2, so it will become 2 pi x, and here it will become minus 2 square pi square t into a lambda 1, a lambda 2 into c lambda 2. There may be another solution corresponding to lambda 3. All these lambdas we will contribute to separate solution or possible solution for temperature distribution U. Now, if there is one solution for lambda 1, if there is another solution for lambda 2, there is another solution for lambda 3, like that, then there can be a more general solution which will consist of linear combination of all these things. That is, it can be, suppose if we write it like this, that U is a solution, there may be different solution for U. One can be, let me write, let me take some 3-4 minutes break, then I'll write. Okay, just I'll take a
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
5 minutes break and then I'll start. You have some gap after 10:30, you can wait for 5 more minutes maybe in the class. We are coming very close to it, so I think we'll be able to finish. So for I have written here for one particular gamma, not gamma, one particular lambda, say lambda 1. When lambda 1 is what? The lambda 1 equal to 1 pi. So the first solution is x1. What is x1? That is equal to a1 into sine 1 pi x. And what is the solution for this time? Gamma 1 is equal to, this is equal to some coefficient, like here you have a1, here also you have another coefficient, that is c1. What you see is that gamma for one value of lambda, say lambda 1, which we define it as n equal to 1. When n is equal to 1, lambda equal to lambda 1. N equal to 2, there is another value of lambda, that is lambda 2. N is equal to 3, it is lambda 3. Now when n is equal to 1, we have the coefficient c1, it is equal to e to the power minus 1 pi, n is equal to 1 pi, n pi, n equal to 1. So it is equal to minus 1 pi square into time. So that is a function of time. And what is the function of x? That is equal to a1 into sine 1 pi x. So this is the function for x, is a function of time, and product of these two is a possible solution for u. Let us say for lambda equal to lambda 1, the solution is equal to u1, and that u1 is not only a product of x1 into gamma 1, any multiplier with that also is a solution for this thing. So this also is a solution for u1. We multiply with another coefficient d1 into x1 into gamma 1, where this x1 equal to a1 sine 1 pi x, gamma 1 equal to c1 into e to the power minus 1 pi square t. Similarly, in this way we can write it as, there may be another solution for u. The other solution for u can be, everything is u2, this is equal to u2 is equal to, there may be another multiplier d2 there, which will be corresponding to another function of x2, and that is there is a corresponding to that, there is another function of time, where x2 is equal to not the same coefficient, it may have another coefficient a2, and that is corresponding to x equal to 2. Lambda is equal to lambda 2, that is equal to 2n, n equal to 2 pi, 2 pi, then we have x, lambda equal to 2 pi. Similarly, for n is equal to 3, lambda equal to 3 pi, and then we call it as a3. That a3 value is something different. And here we have another different coefficient c2. We can have another different because lambda equal to lambda 2, and that is corresponding to n is equal to 2, so it is 2 pi, like that. And in this way you can have u1, u2, u3. We can have, just 1 minute. So we have different solution for u1, u2, u3, like that. Now, not only u is a solution, possible u1 is a solution, u2 is a solution, u3 is a solution, but if we combine all of them, that is also a solution. That we can write this u is equal to we can write it as equal to, u1 into u1 into u, not this u1 plus p2 into u2, and like that, plus dot 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 dot, like that. Now this u1 into d1 into a1 into c1, that we can write it as equal to f1. So all this together makes it actually what? Makes it u1 into u1. u1 contains what? u1 contains a1, c1, d1. Okay. u1 is equal to d1, and this x1 contains a1, and this what is this? Gamma 1 contains c1. So there is a1, c1, d1 into e1, that we call it as f1. Similarly, e2 into d2 into a2 into c2, that we call it as f2, like that. In this way, if we write, we have a solution for u can be a summation of all these individual solutions. These individual solutions for u, they are also solution, and if you combine them, they are also solution. So the most general solution can be combination of all of them. If you combine, and these are general solution for your u. Now the question is how to find out this f. Now the only thing that remains undetermined is everything else is known. Is pi x varying between 0 to 1, t varying from greater than 0, n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that up to infinity. Only thing that remains unknown is this f. Now to find out this unknown, we use the only unused condition, that is the initial condition. And that initial condition has to be a non-zero condition. What that is say is that u at any value of x and time equal to 0, u for all values of x at time equal to 0 is equal to 1. That was the initial condition, if you remember. At time t is equal to 0, this u is equal to 1. And that if we substitute, into this solution, this is equal to time equal to 0, all summation of all these three, time is equal to 0, so this term will be absent. T is equal to 0, e to the power 0 is 1. So it is simply, this will be actually fn n pi x, fn n pi x, summation of all such fn's with n varying from 1 to n is equal to 1. Okay. Now this is the finally obtained thing by using the initial condition, and that initial condition is right hand side, this time, this temperature is equal to 1. Okay, so u is equal to 1 and t is equal to 0. T is equal to 0, this becomes 1, and so summation of all these things becomes equal to 1. But there are series of values of f n's which are to be found out. Now, this can be all the series of unknowns of f1, f2, f3, f4 up to f infinity. They can be obtained by taking advantage of one property of this function that is connected with fn. This is also corresponding to the each and every value of eigenvalue lambda, which is given by n pi. There is a corresponding function that we have obtained. This is also called, the corresponding function is called the eigen function, the typical characteristic function. Now, this particular typical characteristic function has a nature that is called a orthogonality of nature. Nature is the of this function is orthogonality. What is that? That sine function n pi x. If you take one value of n, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, they are mutually orthogonal to each other. And what is the definition of an orthogonal function? Any function, it may be a sine function, maybe some other function. In general, x, capital X is a function of x. This will be called as orthogonal if we multiply this function with a similar orthogonal function with distinct values of the multiplier. This sine, if we, this n is a general value that can vary from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose one value of n is equal to m, another value of n is n. Now, if we multiply these two function, both are orthogonal function, they are generic in nature, identical in nature. Only thing that is changing is the value of n. Here it may be 5, here it may be 6, another may be 8, it may be 1, like that. Now, if you have a orthogonal function, multiply this with respect to another orthogonal function, then it will be 0. The integration of this orthogonal function with respect to itself, maybe with the same value of this eigenvalue, or maybe a different value of eigenvalue. If you integrate this within the span of your interest, x between x equal to 0 to 1, integrate this thing. If the integration value is equal to 0 for different values of m and n, when m is not equal to n, it is equal to 0, and it is for m equal to n is not 0. That is, you multiply this sine 1 pi x with sine 5 pi x, integrate this thing, the integration value will become equal to 0 for distinct values of that n, and it will be non-zero for identical values of same value of n. So it is m pi x into n pi x will be 0, whereas m square pi x or sine square m pi x will be non-zero. We can check that thing. You can check whether this is equal to 0. Shall it be equal to 0 or not? Can somebody tell? Simply use it. Try to find out the value of sine n pi x into n pi x, m pi x into n pi x, integration of sine m pi x into sine n pi x dx between 0 to 1. How do we integrate this thing? This is cos m pi x minus n pi x plus cos m pi x plus n pi x whole divided by 2. And if you integrate that thing, that cos becomes sine, and when you put the value of sine pi x, multiplier of pi into some integral multiplier x equal to 0, it becomes equal to 0, x equal to 1, some multiplier of pi sine m pi x or n pi x or p pi x, p is a integer multiplier, it becomes equal to 0. So the whole thing becomes equal to 0 for distinct values of m and n. Just work out. If you cannot, then you just tell me. Otherwise, you just find out the integration of this thing, whether it is coming to 0 or not. And when it becomes identical, when m becomes equal to n, then suppose for m equal to n, it is sine square m pi x dx. And again, this sine square m pi x is nothing but 1 minus cos of 2 m pi x. Cos of 2 m pi x is what? Is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square m pi x. So 1 minus this thing becomes equal to sine square m pi x. Now if you can write this equal to 1 minus cos twice of m pi x whole divided by 2. Whole divided by 2. And that is equal to sine square. But using the expansion per cos 2 theta. What is that cos 2 theta? That is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square theta. So 1 minus 1 plus 2 sine square theta whole divided by 2 is equal to sine square theta. That is what we have written over here. Okay. So now if you integrate this thing, it becomes equal to 1 with respect to x. 1 dx is x minus of cos of this thing equal to minus of sine 2 pi x, 2 m pi x divided by 2 m pi. And subsequently put the limit between 0 and 1. When it is 0, it becomes equal to 0. 0, it becomes equal to 0. And when it is 1, it becomes 1. And what about this thing? Sine 2. What is this thing? 2 m pi. That is 0. So it becomes simply 1 divided by 2. So it is equal to half. So this thing, the sine square m pi x dx will be equal to half when m is equal to n, whereas for distinct values of m and n, it is equal to 0. So that is the test of orthogonality. A function can be orthogonal by itself or may not be orthogonal by itself, but it may be orthogonal if you multiply with another function of x. And then it is called orthogonal with respect to that function of x. Here it is orthogonal by itself. So that how do we know? This is the test, that this function is multiplied with another what you call homologous series function of itself, and when m and n they are distinct, the integration leads to 0, and when they are identical, it leads to the integrated value becomes other than 0. Both are important to find out the value of this f, series of f's, not only one f. We have to find out a range of values of n, fn, for which it is valid. Now what we do is this. Suppose this is equal to f1 into sine 1 pi x plus f2 into sine 2 pi x plus f3 into sine 3 pi x, like that goes on, and that is equal to 1. If we expand this summation series, is f1 sine 1 pi x plus f2 sine 2 pi x plus f3 sine 3 pi x plus f4 sine 4 pi x, like that. Now what we do is that if we multiply both sides by, suppose if we multiply both sides of this by sine 4 pi x, then what will happen? And integrate the whole thing between 0 to 1. So what is the first term? That is f1 into sine 1 pi x into 4 pi x dx plus f2 into sine 2 pi x into 4 pi x dx plus f3 into sine 3 pi x into 4 pi x dx, like that. And what is the right hand side? It is 1 into sine 4 pi x dx, integrate between 0 to 1. Now I'm just telling, if we multiply both sides by sine 4 pi x, then what will happen? The first term, which is equal to f1 into sine 1 pi x into sine 4 pi x, that will vanish when integrated between 0 to 1 because of orthogonality. Second term, f2 into sine 2 pi x into sine 4 pi x will vanish. Third term, f3 into sine 3 pi x into sine 4 pi x will vanish. Fourth term, it will be f4 into sine 4 pi x into sine 4 pi x. It will not vanish. That will become equal to half. Sine square of 4 pi x dx will be half. So it will be f4 into sine square of 4 pi x, when integrated over 0 to 1, it will become half. So f4 by 2 will become equal to integration of sine f sine 4 pi x dx. So what will be your F4? F4 will be equal to integration of sine 4 pi x dx into 2. What will be F5? F5 will be equal to integration of sine 5 pi x into 2. F5 x6 will be sine 6 pi x dx into 2, like that. Because when you multiply both sides, suppose these are series, you multiply both sides by sine m pi x, then what will happen? Then for all values of n which is not equal to m, they will become 0. Only thing, when n becomes equal to m, then only that term only will remain. So it will become fm into sine square m pi x will be equal to integration of 1 into sine m pi x dx. So your fm will be equal to, that integration of sine square m pi x will become equal to half. Fm by half is equal to integration of sine m pi x dx. Fm will be equal to 2 of that thing. So this is how we find out the value of, it will be f. এটা কি বোঝা গেল না বোঝা যায়নি?
বুঝতে পেরেছো?
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বোঝা গেছে।
বুঝে গেছি। এটা তোমরা তো করেছো অঙ্কে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এরকম করেছি। হ্যাঁ স্যার, করেছি এরকম টাইপের অঙ্ক।
So f will become equal to right hand side integrated value 1 into sine m pi x dx, and other terms will vanish, only sine square m pi x will remain divided by sine square m pi x, and that is equal to half, and this is equal to integration of sine m pi x, that is equal to what? That is cos m pi x. So it is, this half will go 2, when you integrate sine it becomes a minus, divided by m pi, out of this it is m pi, and after integration it is cos m pi x between 0 and 1. When it is 0, cos 0 is equal to 1, and when it is x equal to 1, then it is cos m pi. Now what is the value of cos m pi? Cos m pi will be plus 1 if m is equal to even, and cos m pi will be minus 1 when m is equal to odd. So what is happening here is that is cos 0 minus cos m pi. Now cos 0 is 1, so it is 1 minus cos m pi. Now 1 minus cos m pi, it is equal to 1 minus what? Plus or minus 1, depending on whether that m is even or odd. When m is even, then this also is equal to 1. So 1 minus 1 becomes equal to 0. But when m is odd, this cos of odd pi x becomes equal to minus 1. So it becomes 1 minus minus 1, that is equal to plus 2. So already there is 1, 2 into another 2, that makes it 4. And when it will be, this integration will be 2 when the value of m is equal to odd. So that is why we have written it in terms of 2l plus 1 is odd, for l is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For any value of l between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is an odd number. And for odd numbers only, this will be, this cos of odd pi x will be equal to minus 1. So it will become 1 minus minus 1 becomes 2, and that 2 into 2 is equal to 4, divided by m, where these m's are odd m's, into pi, where m equal to 12 plus 1 and l is equal to this. So this is the value of your fm. Once you find out the value of fm, then a solution for, is not the solution for temperature. Solution for temperature is T minus Ts by Ti minus Ts, which we have defined is as U, that is equal to 4 by pi summation of sine that thing, that instead of L, now we have written n sine of, otherwise it would have been 2l plus 1, l 2l plus 1 pi x e to the power 2n plus 1 square pi square t, divided by that m. This m will be inside this summation sign. Okay. So these are solution for temperature. Now, if you do you have any knowledge of how to plot a graph? Do you use any graph plotting software like Origin or Excel? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So what you do is that
কোন সফটওয়্যারটা ইউজ করেছি আমরা?
কি করেছো?
এক্সেল এ স্যার শিখিয়েছিলেন।
এক্সেল দিয়ে তোমরা যেটা করবে, for small values of for t is equal to 0, গ্রাফটা কি হবে? u will be equal to 1 or t will be equal to ti. ধরো আমি যদি ডাইমেনশনলেস ফর্মে যদি আঁকি গ্রাফটা, at a t is equal to 0, কি হবে গ্রাফটা? What is the temperature at different values of x? T is equal to ti or u will be equal to 1. সুতরাং for temperature গ্রাফটা কিরকম হবে? আমরা যদি প্রথমে চলে যাই, আমরা যদি y axis এ টেম্পারেচারটা আঁকি for different values of x, at t is equal to 0, the t at time equal to 0, the temperature will be uniformly ti, and suddenly for small value of t, say 0.01 second, your surface temperature will become ts. সেটা ধরো ছোট ভ্যালু, আর ছোট ভ্যালু আঁকলে ধরো এটা হচ্ছে তোমার 100 যদি হয়, এটা ধরো 50 যদি হয়, ti equal to 100 and say ts equal to 50, and in a dimensionless plane u is equal to 1 initially and u is equal to 0 subsequently. U is equal to 0, but what is the value of at say x equal to 0.1, 0.2, 0.3? You can calculate that solution. From that solution you can calculate the value of t or u and then plot how it will be. It will be something like এখান থেকে উঠে গিয়ে এখানে টাচ করবে করে আবার এখানে নেমে আসবে। আরো কিছুক্ষণ পরে এটা আরেকটু ডেপথ পর্যন্ত ঢুকবে, এ টাচ করবে নেমে আসবে। আরো কিছুক্ষণ পরে হয়তো জাস্ট একটা পয়েন্টে টাচ করবে নেমে আসবে। আরো কিছুক্ষণ পরে টেম্পারেচারটা এরকম হবে। আরো কিছুক্ষণ টি যত বাড়াবে এরকম বাড়তে ক্রমশ টিটা all through will become, t মানে ইউটা will all through becomes equal to 0, and that you can plot for series of time. একটা টাইম নেবে t is equal to 0, তো এইটা হলো, তারপর t is equal to ধরো 0.1 second. At different values of x you find out the values of t or u and then plot that graph. For another incremented value of t is equal to say 0.2 second. For different values of x, find out the t or u and plot the graph. For another value of time, say 0.3 second, at different values of x, plot the value of t or u, plot that thing. বলে দেখবে কিভাবে টেম্পারেচারটা ফল করছে আস্তে আস্তে করতে অনেকক্ষণ পরে it will approach to 0. হয়তো 5খানা বা 7খানা প্লেস অফ ডেসিমেলের পরে it will become 0. Now thing is that when you want to calculate this so that you can make a graph, then because it is a infinite series, what shall I do? What you will do is that you can take 4, 5, 6 terms and you will see that the value is converging. After 5, 6 terms, you will see that this thing is converging. কতগুলো টার্মের পরে কনভার্জ করবে, how to find out? That you can do it programmatically. The moment two consecutive values, the incremental values approaches to some small value, say 0.0001. The significance of that term is no more there, then you can stop. So after how many terms it will happen programmatically, can you find out? Well, actually it appears like a infinity series. This is for n infinite number of terms, but really after maybe 4, 5 or 6 terms, the rest of the terms may be insignificant. How do we find out that programmatically? Take this as a assignment that you write a program. Which language do you follow in your programming classes?
স্যার সি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটা পড়ছি।
That's ভালো কথা. That is the only language that you have learned.
Yes, sir.
এমনি স্যার বাকি মানে পার্সেন্ট টু পার্সেন্ট ডিফারেন্ট করতে পারে, লাইক যারা কিনা ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল বোর্ড থেকে আছে তারা সি প্লাস প্লাসটা জানবে, তো ওরকম টাইপের আছে।
Is it different? C++ and C, in so far as this part is concerned,
না না না, এগুলো তো একটা নিউমেরিক্যাল অ্যানালিসিস করা হচ্ছে না, তো এগুলোতে তো লাইক প্রোগ্রাম কোডেই তো যা ইয়ে হবে।
now what I am
প্রোগ্রাম কোডে তো
telling, no, this part of the program code is same. C++ may have some additional feature like say, class and all those things, instances, polymorphism. But I'm telling, when you are writing this thing, this part of the programming doesn't have any difference when you are following C or C++. You can use it, make it different, but not necessary. এটা করবে, আর তোমাদের অনেক দেরি হয়ে গেছে, তোমরা জাস্ট ওই চ্যাট বক্সে তোমার রোল নাম্বারটা লিখে দিও, জাস্ট রাইট ইউর রোল নাম্বার and may leave this class because we're already late, 30 minutes late.
Okay, sir.
Please write your roll number because it will take a long time for me to call the roll number. You write in your roll number and leave this because you have another class to attend just after this.